Hello and welcome, crafty friends. This is Maria from Maria Crafting Corner, and I'm independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to work mainly with two products from the new mini catalog, and we're going to be making Easter cards. So let me show you which products we're going to be working on and which styles of cards will be also creating in today's class. So let's move to the crafting table, shall we? This is the catalog, the mini catalog for this year, and we are going to be working with the Abstract Beauty Suite. And the paper, the designer series paper, is always called the same. These paper is 4 by 6, which makes it a little easier to work with when you're cutting cards, of course. It has some beautiful colors. And I'm going to show them here to you. There are 48 sheets of these paper, and then you'll have 4 sheets of 12 designs. Again, this is the actual paper measurements. It has a lot of gold on it, totally up my alley. I love shiny. I'm like a ferret, I think. What you can see here is most of them, or some of them, are brush strokes. Oh, I love this one. Easter, very Eastery. And again, I was saying these are brush, some of them are like brush strokes, and I really like that abstract concept. A lot of it has just Jade and Blushing Bride. We're totally we're totally using this one today. And that one just has black stripes on the back, polka dots and gold. Come on, people, that is perfect. And some ombre in just Jade. This one is more like a polka dot mix and match with triangles. I love this one. This is a Night of Navy. And you know what? I think it would be great if you're making a card where you want to make like a scene in the night. Uh, Super simple to make if you already have that background. And some stripes on the back, more of those beautiful brush strokes that I was talking about, and a very simple balmy blue to work with. And finally, um, gold, white, and black flowers. Okay, so let me talk to you about the stamp set. The stamp set is called Easterfriends, and it has three beautiful animals related to Easter. So a chick, a bunny, and a duck. They are all easy to color if you like coloring, because it has already some of the shades on it. We will be using My Friend and Happy Easter most likely. I love the sentiments that it comes with, and I think it's just perfect to make somebody else's spring or Easter just wonderful. Let me show you some of the examples that come in the mini catalog of how you can just play with it, uh, using it very simple or a little more complicated. If you don't have this catalog, let me know, send me an email or comment here in YouTube, and I will absolutely love to send you one if you're in the United States, okay? Let's put that out for a minute and let's start with the work. So we are going to need a 8.5 by 5.5 uh, piece of cardstock. This is Blush and Bride, and it's scored at 4.25. Okay, and we are going to also need another piece, and this is just basic white in the same dimensions, scored at 4.25. I am not sure how this card is called. We're just going to go with Fun Fold for now. And the whole goal is we're creating panel on top of the panel, and we're going to have just some extra layers to the card. I hope that makes sense. So the first step is creating a border, and I'm going to be using our basic borders. I really love those. They have such a variety of options for you to create in your cards. And I need to be mindful that I want a circle in the front that will show our duck that is going to be in the inside of the card. So we're creating a window, but I need to include this die right now if I want to, so I am making sure that it will fit correctly where I want it. I'm going to use some of that post-it tape that I have talked so much about it, and as you can tell, I'm reusing here an old one, which is one of the reasons why I love it, is that you can use them several times. And we are going to just place our circle die wherever it feels better for the card. These circle die belongs to the layering dies, which brings 16 circles. Half of them are scalloped circles. Let me show you. And I really love them just to create like it's called some extra dimension layering these circles. So let's I'm leaving these up high a little bit so I can place a sentiment in the lower part of the card. Let's bring our die cutting machine, which I have said it a few times. I really love it. Now, as you can tell, my my plates are very used and I use it very often. And oops, here's a tip. Before you start die cutting anything, always make sure that the part that you're die cut, it's really going to be between those two plastic plates. Otherwise, it's not going to cut well. So here we go. It's just a quick process die cutting it. If you have, a die cutting machine like a Brother, a Cricut, it's perfectly okay to do that. You don't need that many dies. I, for some odd reason, like the working with the dies. So let's get rid of our machine right now and undo our pieces here. Now, I am putting my dies in this magnetic bowl. I have it linked down below if you're interested. It is a wonderful addition to the craft room if you're working with dies and you tend to lose them like me. I lose them all the time. Let's just not, I don't lose them like they're gone, but yeah, I have to look for them several times while I'm crafting. So this is how the card is going to look. Now I have to make sure which one is going to be the front, if the pink or that white cardstock, but this is exactly how it's going to look. Sentiment there on the back. We're going to create another circle here and we'll have a full window all the way to where let's call it the back of the card is going to be, or the inside of the card is going to be. Okay, the next step, it's going to be calculating what or deciding what paper we're going to put in the inside, and it's going to show, right? And I really like that paper, those brush strokes with the black and the gold. Now, since this is 4 and already, we don't really need to cut this one, but I am going to cut a little bit to create to be able to layer it. And of course, I always choose gold to to layer some of my cards. If you've been following me, you know that. And this is I'm just calculating here which one, what's the exact measurement for it. But since the other one is just a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, this is going to have to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So that's the first mat. And then the designer series paper will be 4, which is already the size of the paper, so we're not going to need a whole lot in there, by 5 1/4. I am struggling here with my blade in my trimmer. I think that it's just reached out its life and it's not cutting very well. So I am just changing it real quick. I have always a few of them, a few new blades in my craft room. And one of the things I love about Stampin' Up is that they provide you with all the replacements needed for the tools you have. And so we have it. I really like it because it creates some difference between, or some contrast is what I'm trying to say, with the just plain white. And here we're going to cut it again. It's at 4 1/4. The designer series paper will be 4 1/4. All those dimensions will be down below and in my blog at Maria's Crafting Corner. But really, you can mat these however you want in your, when you're making your card. Right now, if you want it exactly like this one, you can follow those measurements. Let's go ahead and do and adhere these to the gold piece. And of course, I'm bringing my silicone craft sheet because I'm trying not to mess up my workspace. Just at the beginning of the video, I just changed this. I just replaced this new Stampin' Seal Plus. Like I was saying, one of the big things is that you're able to get your tools and find the perfect replacements for it. So I'm just matting these the best I can. Turns a little bit crooked if you pay a little bit attention, but I think it's the only advantage is that it's all gold and it's not noticeable or too noticeable. So let's move that ahead. Oh wait, no, let's do adhere these to the white card base first, because we will at some point need to create or die cut that circle from this area in the card. I'm just trying to make the most for it to be centered and not crooked. It happens, not all the time, but it does happen. So this is what we're doing. Trying to decide which color I like the best. I keep thinking that white is the best one. Just because that's easier to put sentiments and to decorate. But I just had a wonderful idea. Have you guys seen those cards where the image actually moves? Those are those things that are called wobblers, and I got these at Amazon. I will link those below too, and they just make your image move, like just like wobbly heads, those big things. And since this ducky is in 1 foot, and my idea is it's going to be unstable, it just will work wonderful with those wobblers. Just super fun. I hope it works well because I just came up with that. So we're going to need the white side, I think, because it will be easier to just decorate. We'll have the wobbly duck in the middle, and I still have to figure out what we're going to do with all of it. It's sad that we're not going to be able that circle that we die cut initially. Now we are going to place the card as best as we can in here, just as it would look like. And now we are going to close it, and with a pencil we are going to just go around that circle. The whole idea here really is to make sure that we place that circle exactly where the other one is, so we have a perfect window. Remember that I mentioned that I lose my die cuts? Well, that's what I was looking for, that one. Now we are going to place these in that circle that we draw, and put in some post-it tape to make sure it doesn't move and stays where we need it. And we are going to, whoops, wrong tool. We are going to bring our die cutting machine and run it through. I am anticipating we're going to have to run this several times because it's got 3 layers of paper, right, including cardstock. So I am doing that right here a couple of times, and let us check it now. and see how it is working. To my surprise, it did completely cut through with only 3 passes, and that's very impressive, I think. So kudos for our Stampin'Up dies. They do the job. And as we're here, let's cut that white circle we're going to need to stamp our duck. I think we should name the duck, don't you? Call him, well, Peter is a bunny, right? Well, let's think of a name for it. So I stop calling him just duck. And as you can see here now, we have how the card is going to work. The duck is going to go on that circle, and we're going to see it through that window. So let's focus now on stamping the duck and working on that inside of the card. I am thinking, which color am I going to stamp this duck? And I initially thought I'm going to use the crushed curry, which is the color used mostly in the suite. But then I decided that I wanted it to be in a darker color. So I end up using soft suede, which it's dark enough for the duck, and because I ended up deciding I wanted to color it with alcohol blends. As you'll see here, I speed up the video a little bit because coloring was not really, didn't think that I was going to color these these images, and so I thought it was going to be a little, shorter kind of a video. But I guess I like coloring way too much. So I am using Copic markers. As you guys know, I've mentioned this many times before. I've not had the time or money really to invest in buying a full set of alcohol markers, Stampin'Up. But I did get the new skin tones, and they are wonderful. So I am just going here with the basic coloring technique that I have used in previous videos, using the lightest first and then the darkest. And since Copics tend to have 3 colors, using the middle one to blend and going back and forth. The advantage with these images is, like I mentioned before, Stampin'Up made clear which areas you'll need some darkening or shading, and it's easier. Now I am showing you here a tip that I've shown before, and is if you, like me, do not color within the lines like a preschooler, then there's these white pen, gel pen that helps just fixing that, and I'll have it linked below. So this is how our card is going to look like. We're going to have our little ducky in there, and now we're going to work with that inside. I was looking for other papers to put on it, but I decided that I did not like any of the other patterns to mix and match with this card. So I am blending real quick here, pull party, and creating a sort of an idea of a sky, and I am using now soft Seafoam to create the grass. And as you can tell, it's not a very detailed blending, it's just to give it a hint of color. And I decided that I wanted to create the same grass and sky for the rest of the inside of the card. That would create some continuity when you actually open the card, not the car. Hello, sorry. So that's what I'm doing. But as you can see here, it's not anything super detail blending. It's just simple. There are other cards where the blending and the background is the focus, and that is not this card. This stamp set comes with a little stamp that resembles grass, and I am using that just to create some dimension. And I don't know if you saw that, but I missed that one, so I just restamp it, and it looks just fine. So that is what we're going to look at. We're going to have our wobbly duck. And I am just peeling off the sticker it comes with to get to the actual adhesive part. And as you will see, I am struggling to get that off. It's so funny, I have nails and all, but it was not coming back. And then it hit me, hey, I have the take your pick tool, which is super useful for these cases. Why am I not using it? And there we have a little wobbly dog. I think that is so cute. Now I am going to adhere the, this part of the card to the base. And I am using my tear tape because I already have the wobbly duck there, and sometimes the Stampin' Seal Plus has some issues when you try to do it and there's some sort of dimension through that it goes through. It just is not a wonderful job. I am going to stamp now my sentiment here, and I am going to use one of those beautiful sayings. You guys know that I struggle a little bit with putting things straight. I was lucky here, and it's all straight. Surprise, surprise. And that is our card. I think that at some point it's going to need something to hold it there. So I was thinking maybe a sleeve. I was not sure what was I going to really do to just help it stay closed, right? So let's work with the front of the card now. I'm going to create from the leftover circle. We're going to create a place to put our initial sentiment or sentiment at the front of the card. And I'm just looking at what cute shape I could come up with the leftover of that circle. And we have here gold and a little bit of the designer series paper, and I am thinking just to layer them a little bit off. So we have a little bit of gold and then a little bit of the designer series paper. And let's stamp that piece first and make sure that we like it how it looks before we actually adhere it to the front. You know how many times I have done that in the past, that I just put it all together in the card and then it doesn't work. And it looks good enough, so let's go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal Plus and put it in the front of our card. I'm just making sure I like the placement and the designer series paper there. And then as I'm looking at it, I decided that what we need is some dimensionals. So I'm just adding 3 of them and using our take your pick tool, which is one of the handiest tools in all Stampin'Up's website. And that is our card. I really, really like how it came out. Now, like I was saying, the card was not closing well. And so I figured that we can add a magnet to it just to help the card stay closed. And of course I'm going to try first, and this works for one, it didn't work for the other ones. I'm using here our glue dots and just putting the other one there. And as you see, the glue dot needed to be closer to the circle in order to for it to work really well. And this is how I work with magnets. I put one first, and then I put the other one on the magnet before I attach it anywhere, because that way I know that the attractive parts of the magnet are in the correct place. So after struggling with a few glue dots to get my magnet to stay in place and not working, I decided to go on with my hot glue gun. And I started warming it up. It takes a little bit, of course. And now, while we wait, let's just focus on the fun part, the bling bling. So these sequins were part of the paper pumpkin kit for January. I'm not sure how I didn't use them all, but obviously I have a few left over, and these glue dots really made the job for this card. They are, I think they're like kind of very vanilla but iridescent, and so you'll get moments when you see some pink. Sometimes it looks a little goldish. You get some yellows, and so it really kind of matched everything in the card, and I was so very happy about that. And so now we're going to use our glue gun to make this happen. And I think it took too long because by the time I got there, it was, guess what? It was already cold. That's so funny. Just can't imagine how fast that gets hard. So we're going to give it a few more minutes for it to heat the right way. And in the meantime, I'm just cleaning up my space. And let me show you, this is the next card we're going to do. Now, not the same colors, but we're going to do a crisscross card. Okay, our glue gun is ready. It seems like it's working, and it does. Now, let me tell you about this glue gun. I will have it also linked down below. I just love it because it's cordless, and so it's just super useful. You can, once it's heat up, you can come back and forth several times. I am holding that for a little bit so it stays, and now it is ready. In hindsight, I could have cut the ducky a little, the circle could have been a little smaller, but I love the end result. Now let's go with our next card. Our next card is a crisscross card, and I am trying to decide here which is the paper I want. I thought initially about those super happy, really, brush strokes, but I decided I wanted something different. So I'm going to definitely keep that one for one of the sides. And I am going to bring another piece of designer series paper that you'll see here in a minute. So let's start with the basics of this card. You will need two pieces that are 4 by 11. Okay, so there's the first one and there's the second one. Now you can obviously mix and match colors here. They will definitely create a fun card that way. We're scoring at 5.5 both pieces. The whole goal is to put one piece over the other and then one flap in one flap, if that makes sense. So we are going to make diagonal cuts on both pieces, and in order to make them correctly and not mess up, we are going to use our pen and mark from one corner, which is going to that score line, and the other corner, which is going to the score line. So we know that those two pieces are going to be on either side and not on the same side, and that will just work best for us, because we'll eliminate that triangle. I'm just aligning them in my trimmer. Be mindful to use the scoring side to do the cut, because if you don't, you may just really mess up the corner. Even if your blade is super sharp, sometimes you don't want to risk it, right? So you can do it either from the middle of the card, or you can do it from the score line, whatever works best. And this is where this trimmer is such a blessing. We are not discarding those pieces because we'll use them in a little bit as kind of as templates. Now this is how our card really will look like. Okay, the inside part you can barely see, and the most of the decoration will be in the front. We have to be mindful where we put, of course, the glue or the adhesive, so it's all well glued and there's no mistakes. The first first I'm trying just to look into which colors or which papers I really want, and I'm looking within all the options that this beautiful paper gives me, but I end up deciding that I wanted the gold stripes, and I thought that was just going to look beautiful. So we're going to put the simpler one, which is those blush and bright and polka dots, in the back because you can barely see it, right? And then we're going to use the two others in the flaps outside. So let's start with that piece. Again, all those dimensions are going to be in the description below, but that one would be, it's already 4, right? So we're going to take an eighth out of that, so it's going to be 3 7/8, and then it's going to be 5 3/8. That will be the measurement for that piece, and we're going to adhere that right now. Oh my God, those gold polka dots, so beautiful. Just centering these pieces as best as we can. And although it seems like a good time to adhere the card right now, it's still not. It's much easier to put the rest of the panels together while it's not attached. We're going to use those triangles that we got from the base of the card, and we are going to use them because they already have little marks as to what would be the right front of the card, and that will help us where to cut our paper, right? So let's start with this one. Honestly, I am barely new to using measurements, and I can't lie to you, triangles are much more complicated. So I decided to just use my pencil and mark where I need to cut, right? So I am leaving about an eighth from the pink triangle out, so I'm creating the mat, and I know where to cut to have a little bit of that blush and bright looking. Look at this card I made. I love this, and I was thinking, should I put some gold in it? But I thought it was just not going to be as beautiful. And this is an Easter card. I don't know, I just in the end decided no gold. So let's go to the cutting. Just align the best you can the 2 dots that you made before in a way that they are, and again, that's where your this ruler from the trimmer is so good because you can really see where your blade is going to go through. We have one piece, and we're going to do the exact same thing with these. And because we have those, let's call it templates, we are going to be able to position our paper and make sure that it's looking the right way, you know, because it definitely the pattern has a side, right, has a direction, and we're making sure that it has the eighth enough, or the space enough, that so you will be able to create a mat. And this is how it's going to look. And look at that, even if I did that just eyeballing, they're more or less the same cut. Isn't that amazing? So let's go ahead and adhere our panels. I am not putting any adhesive on that longer side of the triangle, just because I don't know if later, while I'm going to go with the decorations, it's going to I'm going to need some leverage there, some areas to stuck flowers or whatnot. So I decided to leave it there. If it was too much of a need, then I would definitely be able to put some extra glue on it as needed. So now I've been able to put both of these panels on, and I I am just making sure that I am aware where I need to put the glue. Okay, so we need to put the adhesive on 3 sides. One of them we don't really, because it's going to be in the inside of the card, but the other 3 sides need to have adhesive. And now we are going to put some adhesive on the triangle, so on the lower side of the triangle, so of course our little note doesn't fall, and the same with the other one. And then I realized I wanted to do something similar to what I did to the other card, using some vellum or something there to make it, a little cuter. And then I realized that I have this beautiful, it's an old scrap of ribbon that I have down in my stash, and I think I really liked it. So thankfully this time my Stampin' Seal Plus was very benevolent. Let's put it that way, and did not rip all my paper like it usually does. It ripped there a little bit, but thankfully we didn't. That's a piece that nobody's going to see, so not a big deal. And I am just going to attach this ribbon. Isn't it super cute? And again, I think I got this, let's say, Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and we're talking about years ago. I'm going to put some extra adhesive since, I ripped that off, and go and glue it well. And now we're going to do the same thing with our other side. Obviously this side, since this one is the one that's going to be in the front, will need the full length of that side covered with ribbon. One of the great advantages of using your Stampin' Seal Plus is definitely that if you, for whatever reason, miss a little bit, you can just put it back on the card and manage it very well. Okay, so I'm just making sure I cut this as best as possible, trimming all those little pieces so it looks sharp and nice. And we will apply some extra Stampin' Seal Plus so it adheres perfectly to the rest of the card. We are going to do something very similar to this card, using the bunny and flowers and greenery. And to do that, we're going to use the Sweet as a Peach stamp set and die cut set. I love this one, but it brings those tiny flowers and leaves that you can utilize to decorate, and it just works wonderful with this card. Let me go ahead and stamp and die cut some of them. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I am sorry about that, but it took a little bit. So my thought is we're going to cut some of these, and I have already also a few others, and this is soft Seafoam. I have 2 of them, and this one is in just Jade. And I know that the catalog, which is one of the wonderful things of our catalog, is that it tells you just what colors it really matches. But for some reason, I feel that these is just Jade, but it's too dark for the regular just Jade, and I didn't make a mistake. Just putting it out there. So I figured that if you put this in that, you kind of soften it up a little bit, okay? And then I just die cut tons of these ones in Blushing Bright. Okay, so we're going to decorate here in a minute. Let me move all these stuff. Let's bring this back in here, which is what we need. I am thinking of doing mostly the same as this one. Just a circle and die cut it. And you know what I forgot? I forgot that I wanted to put in this one, this circle for the, I know things happen. I wanted to put something for it. Maybe I'll do it later. I'll let you know, guys. And this one is too big for that one, so we're going to get our layer in circles super quick and work on getting our image perfectly in place. and I have them like this. And this is Stampin'Up's. Stampin'Up has a beautiful thing is that it sends you the stamps and the layers or there's dies, I'm sorry, and in a way that you can protect them already. You don't need to buy anything extra to protect them. These cases, just as you see them, come like that from Stampin'Up. You can put your stamps there. You don't have to do anything to this. This is perfect. I actually, if you see this one here, I have my case, and all I did was buying a piece of magnet sheet, which will be linked down below, and put it in here so I have all my, my dies and my stamps together, because that makes sense. And I did the same thing here. I got these magnet sheets. They are, let me show them to you. They have, these are big. These are 8.5 by 11, just a regular one. And so I just cut them in 6, because these envelopes are a little bit, I think it's like 7 by 7 or 6.5 by 6.5. So I cut them by 6 by 6. And if you can tell, this has glue in the back, so you can glue them just like I did that, and voila, you have everything together in the same place. And I think that is it is so useful. So I have this scrap paper here, and what I want to make sure is that I don't mess up my little bunny. Let me get my stamping block, and I have a big stamping block from a very long time ago, and I think I want to do this just the same as that one, in a softer color, and I think gray granite is the one I want to go with. We don't need the whole bunny because we're not putting the whole bunny, but I am going to put it there, even if I waste a little bit, because I want to make sure that it is all in there. And same as the other ones, I am just cleaning my stamp really well. And I kind of a little bit, the Stampin'Up has wonderful stamping blocks. I just have not been able to buy them, like buy everything, right? Like, not that I don't want to, but I just, can't do it right away. But we're going to use these die. I think will look wonderful. And then we'll use its pairing die to create. Just want to make sure this is the one. Seems that this is the one. We can make it a little bigger. Wondering if that will be too big. No, I like that one. Okay. So I since I have these open at this point in time, let me return these other dies here so I don't lose them. And we're going to cut these again. I know we've been using the embossing machine far too much today, huh? Go and emboss this real quick. And we are going to do the scalloped circle now. I am just trying to figure out what I want. What would I like better? And it is, you can do it in gold or in the blushing color. And I think I'm going to go with this color. Or I could do the jade, but just jade, but if you see it here, it's a little bit too dark. So I am not going to do that one. I think I'm going to use this one super quick. And I am kind of hoping that one will fit here. Now, of course, because I am doing this right here, right now, I have lost the die that I just got it. Of course, it doesn't fit. Would have been awesome if it did, huh? Okay, we're going to run the scallop die that will go underneath our beautiful bunny. And I am telling you, I am in love with that bunny. I made another Easter card. I'm just working on my Easter cards for my family. And I just made this one. Look at this one. Let me show you. Super simple card, really. Using the exact same papers, just using the blue. But I just thought it was so cute. But here's the bunny, right? I just love that bunny. So let's get going. Sorry about the interruption. I'm putting these dies already away because I don't want them to get lost. And that's not a good idea. If you don't have circle dies, these are wonderful. Like I said, it brings 16 pieces of mix and matching circles with its scallop dies. So I think that is a great deal. There you go. Oh my god, it looks so cute. So we are going to use and I just got these. Let me see which one would be the best one. Let me see it in paper, in this paper. Too light. So I just got all the stamping blends and I am super happy about them. I cannot tell you guys how happy I am. I just love them. And too dark too. I don't think I'll be able to use that because the bunny's not colored, right? So I'm gonna use just this that is super light. I just don't want to risk it. We are going to kind of mimic this card a little bit. We are going to get the Stampin' Seal Plus. Let me organize a little bit this mess I have here. Here's my Stampin' Seal Plus. You may not believe it, I found it. And we are going to put it in our scalloped circle. It looks so beautiful, and it will look so wonderful once the card is completely done. Sorry, I was looking for my card. What do you guys think? I think that looks just precious. And I'm going to go with the same idea, but I'll start with these bees first. And I have a little piece of scrapping paper here, and you know how it works. I am going to stamp my Happy Easter, very specific, and we are going to stamp it in basic gray, and I'm using the basic gray because it's a little darker. This one was heat embossed in white, but we're just going to go with this because this video is getting to be too long already. We've done a lot of stuff, and so making sure it fits. It does fit. And there's our Happy Easter. Okay, now so what I did with that one is I just cut it, and I use the trimmer because, ridiculously enough, I am not that demonstrator that will cut it straight. I've seen some demonstrators, they just go with their scissors, and I cannot tell you how much I envy them, because I am not able to cut anything in a straight fashion. So now that we've gone through that past part of, the only one that I'm going to cut is this one, just because it's easier. With that piece of information of my sad inability to cut, we are going to put our bunny, which is right here, and we're going to use glue for that. And we're going to use glue for that because we need to be sure that it sticks well where it is, and it's just on this bottom side. Okay, so the secret for that is just put it backwards like you had them and put some glue on it. This glue that Stampin'Up has is the Tumbo. It's really strong, and I don't know if you can see it. I did mess it up here somehow. So we'll put, that's where we're going to put some of our bling. I know it's a little bit sad that way, but it happens, and you know, we have to be flexible when accidents happen. So we are going to put this kind of similar to that one that I have there. Couple of dimensionals, and we are going to play with it. We have a happy, and that's a little bit further away, but that's fine because it does not have to be the exact same one, right? We can actually make it here and create this way. Okay, there we go. And now it's not sticking well. So I'm going to put some extra here and hold it a little bit. Now we are going to play with our, I'm going to hold it 1 second, guys, with our decoration of these. Okay, so I told you guys I had this one in just Jade and this one in soft Seafoam, and we are going to cut them. And we'll place them all around that middle focal point. I am going, of course, going to play with the two colors, right? Because we have one that is just Jade and the other one is soft Seafoam, and just to create some contrast between both of them. I did speed up these part of the video just because you know, it takes a little bit of time to uh, place all the flowers and all the leaves exactly where you want them. And like I mentioned before, this video is a little bit longer than I expected. I do have to be mindful that I put that lace there and it's some dimension to it, and it's going to be hard to glue anything to it. So you can use the leaves underneath, or you know, on other areas, but not on top of the lace, just so we save ourselves some drama with the leaves falling or the flowers falling for that matter. And I am trying to figure out which areas the leaves will make more of a contrast. I'm also placing the leaves first, uh, just again because the flowers will be a complement of those leaves. Now, while I place all these items where I really want them and cut them into the right size and whatnot, I would like to remind you that I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and if you want a mini catalog or our annual catalog, please contact me at Maria at mariascraftingcorner.com, and just let me know what you want and what you need if you don't have a demonstrator. Also, if you would like to become a demonstrator, do let me know. Send me an email and I'll let you have all that information and all the benefits to become a demonstrator, even if you're just a hobbyist. And finally, if you're interested in hosting an event and leaving Colorado Springs area, I'm more than happy to help you with that piece. Or we can create a virtual card making gathering. I have the ability to use different virtual platforms to work with that, and will gladly create a specific card for that event. Okay, so do keep that in mind and let me know if you're interested. My blog, it's mariascraftingcorner.com, and I will have all measurements and all the products that I use today in there. I will be starting a cards kit, like a kit of the month or something like that. I'm not sure how to name it. Now I am using, going back to the card, I am using this beautiful new rhinestones, iridescent rhinestones, and I am just putting those in the middle of the flowers here and there. The advantage of these rhinestones is that they kind of capture the color of the paper below so that you can use them really with any colored paper and they will most likely work well. And what that means is that if you are on a budget and can't buy every colored rhinestone out there, these will help you to decorate your cards, uh, with any color. So it'll save you money. Um, I'll show you here in my other card, which was the base was balmy blue, really, and it looks just as beautiful. See, they just get that captured the color below them. So I tend to have my um, pre-cut several size of cardstock so I can use and not struggle with when I'm finalizing a card. And I just got a little piece that I'm gonna do the same thing I did in our other card, and it's just a hole in the middle using a very old hole puncher and tying a piece of ribbon on it so the recipient knows that there's a little note inside. I had chosen a gold ribbon, a little old scrap of ribbon, but unfortunately it was too hard to bend and play with, so I cut another piece of other ribbon I had handy that had some gold in it. Now I was too stingy with it and just cut like a little piece, and I paid um, for that decision. So note to self, don't be stingy and get a couple more inches in your ribbons when you're playing with them and trying to do a video so you don't struggle in public. But it ended up working well and it looks just perfect. So I don't know if you guys remember last week we had a um, raffle and only two people commented on that. And what I am going to do is give each a little prize. One will get the two sets, and the other one will get just something else. So I'll get in touch with both of them. Now, these are the cards. I was showing you my previous duck card and how it worked. And here are the other two cards I've made for Easter so far using the same suite and the same stamp set. Now, if you really like the video, again, give it a thumbs up. It helps us immensely here in YouTube. And do subscribe to my channel if you would like to hear more and receive videos from me. Let me know if there's anything I can do that you're wanting to learn, and I will gladly get a video working on that. Let's see, other admin things. I don't have any. Do let me know which card you like the best or which colors work better, and I will see you next time. Thank you for being here.